The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings 2020 Mayakoba Golf Classic. First look, research, and opening betting odds. If you're looking for the full DraftKings and betting show, that'll be coming out on Wednesday on Mayo Media Network. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching it on Mayo Media Network. If you are not subscribed to Mayo Media Network, I suggest you do that right now. Also, smash the like button for the video and give me your winner in the comment section. I'll have my cheat sheet up later on in the week on dkplaybook.com. And as always, with this being the final PGA event of the 2020 calendar year, head on over to fantasynational.com for a discount. Let's say you're just playing, it's the last event of the year. You probably want to go all in on this one. Probably not. But if you are expecting to play more than, $10 between DraftKings and gambling, fantasynational.com/Mayo. Get you 20% off. So if you get the weekly membership to all the stats, all the tools, you'll get full access. It's going to cost you $8. I would recommend that you go do that now. Additionally, I have a gigantic announcement coming about golf in general, involving me, and maybe even some of you as well. It's going to be good news for everyone. We're going to be doing some holiday season golf content before the new season starts. We did the draft last year. That was a whole lot of fun. Maybe we'll do some strategy shows for DraftKings golf, maybe gambling golf, maybe one and done, and maybe we'll just talk about all the majors and all of our favorite players. There's a ton of golf content coming out as football begins to wean down a little bit from the day-to-day grind. We can get ahead of the game, and I will have this very special announcement. So please stay tuned for that. I promise it's very exciting. So you're probably going to want to do that. Let's jump into this right now, though. We're back at it used to be called the OHL Mayakoba. That's how we have it listed to make it easily searchable on Fantasy National. But it's a Mayakoba Golf Classic. Big field. We have better names than we normally. It's not like a stacked field by any means, but versus the actual Mayakoba every single year, it's not so bad. So let's take a quick look into the field to begin with. The opening betting odds care of DraftKings Sportsbook. You'll see the two big favorites at the top, JT and Brooks. The biggest crossover course, you should know this if you're betting or doing anything on Mayakoba. The Sony Open is the very clear one. 2 of the past 3 years, they've got back-to-back winners at this event. So Kazire won this 3 years ago in the fall. Then he instantly won the Sony Open as soon as the new year started. Cooch did the same thing. Did not happen last year, as Brennan Todd won this event a year ago. But Justin Thomas has a Sony Open. When he shot a 59 at YLI in the past, he opens at plus 650, so 6.5 to 1. Brooks is 12 to 1. After that, you have your other, just a cluster of favorites. Harris English is just playing so well. He's 16 to 1. Finau, Answer, Berger, Henley, Victor Hovland, Ricky Fowler, Corey Connors are all in between 16 to 1 and 30 to 1. Actually, I lied. Corey Connors is 35 to 1, the same as Joaquin Niemann and Will Zalatoris. This is a really good field for Mayakoba. It makes a lot of sense to me in a way, only because it's the final event of the year. So as we saw, because of the COVID restrictions and in 2020, that piling up some of these FedEx Cup points could get you all the way to East League and that guaranteed money right away. So you might as well take some shots on this. It's in Mexico. It's at El Camelian course, but it's a resort course, and it's like actually on the resort where the players are likely to stay. So, if you leave the U.S. to get away from COVID cases to Mexico, it's actually worse in Mexico right now. But on the resort where the course is going to be and where you're going to stay, I'm pretty sure they can set up a pretty good bubble for the players and their families. So it does make sense. Go to Mexico. It's a final event. Then take a vacation afterwards if you want to. And it's a situation where we're seeing a much better talent-wise tournament than we've seen in years past at El Camelion. So I'm excited for this. And if we go deeper into the odds, Griot is playing really well. Horschel and Charles Howell III, Brian Harmon all at 45 and 50 to 1. The number I like the most just initially is right here. Mark Leishman, 60 to 1. If you think that he's back, which may or may not be the case, but he played really well at Augusta. This is a perfect course for him. He's won on the Pathlum greens in the past. He enjoys himself a shootout from time to time. He's just a good player, and he's better than most of the people in this range. It doesn't mean he's going to win, doesn't even mean he's going to contend, but he's played well at YLI in years previous as well. So 60 to 1 on him. I've seen him as low as 45 in some places. If you can grab this 60, it's available to you in your area. I'd highly recommend that if you're going to take a play on Leishman, you try to find this number. I've seen it at 45. I've seen it at 49. $59, and now it's $60 on DraftKings Sportsbook and some other places as well. So if you do believe that it has returned for me, he's over his injury or wherever the hell it was going on with Mark Leishman, it's a really good number for him. Munoz is 66. You got Keegs. He fits the narrative of the 34-year-old winner, which we've seen here a whole bunch in the past. Also another player who's done really well at Waialae in seasons previous as well. He's 70-1. Then you got like Kazire, former winner. Adam Long, I believe Adam Long is just a good player in general. He's 70-1. Piercy, Streelman, Harold Varner. Woodland's still hurt, I think. Reeve actually rates out the best in strokes gained total over the past 12 rounds at Waialae. He's 70-1. Sabatini, Russell Knox has a very good course history. We'll dig into that in a minute. And then you got someone like Byung-Hun An at 111-1. I did not think I'd see the day. The Gim Reaper, my guy, that's like an auto bet at 125-1. Hopefully we can find some players to switch over to as we go through this. It's going to be a really difficult week. It really depends on what you want to do at the top. I'm far more, if I was going to bet the top of the board, Harris English is just playing so well that maybe you just roll the dice on him, but I'd be far more inclined to go Justin Thomas over Brooks at this course. I'm not quite sure what Brooks is doing here. DJ had originally committed to this, but, he went to the Masters, and then, he's too big for Mayakoba. Makes a lot of sense to me, actually. But with Brooks, maybe he's just trying to get his footing back underneath of him. Maybe he's looking to gain some FedEx Cup points heading into the new year. The guy likes the Mondays, so that would go part and parcel with this. Just where Justin Thomas has experience at winning at the Sony Open, that his game could translate pretty well over to this. Let's head on over to fantasynational.com right now and kind of dig in just a little bit. If we just take a look at the past course conditions and the course breakdown, along with the recent results and the tournament history, there's just the first 4 tabs to go look at. I have it set to pass 24 rounds right now. There's no shot length this week, which kind of sucks. If we just take a look at the top, just sort by strokes gained total, just as the only stat we look at, the top 10 in the field: JT, Russell Henley, Peter Malnati, Doug Gim, Harris English, Brooks Koepka, Corey Connors, Tony Finau, Will Zalatoris, and Cameron Tringale. After that, my guy, Seb Straka, who rallied to make the cut for me at RSM. Had a good week at RSM. Had a few, it was sub 1% 6 of 6, and I actually had a whole bunch of them. Not as good of a week as having so many 6 of 6s versus the field should have resulted in, but here we are. I didn't have Kisner and I didn't have Streb. I had guys like Seb Straka who just actually made the cut. Varner and Neiman as well was another one where they just couldn't get it going to the fullest extent. Historic course conditions. This is a birdie fest. Let's be real here. It's easy. It's on Paspalum greens. Paspalum greens. I have to learn how to say that right. It's difficult-ish to hit fairways. It's average to difficult. That doesn't really make a difference because the rough is so short. It's a par 71. It's just over 7,000 yards. So you're going to have scoreable par 5s, a few short par 4s as well. So it's an easy course if you want to hit up your mixed condition model and punch that in. Moose has cleaned up the course breakdown page. We were getting duplicates for whatever reason. Now with our partnership with the PGA Tour and ShotLink over at fantasynational.com, we get just the actual good stuff here. If we sort by rank, as you can see, you're better off starting guys on hole 1 than you are on hole 10, as you get the hole 10, the 7th, the 14th, and the 3rd most difficult hole. This is for showdown purposes, by the way, if you're looking to play showdown this week. It's going to be a bit more difficult without ShotLink data from the course to really kind of jump on top of it. But if you're just playing the extra 2% of trying to find an advantage in showdown, guys that start on the back 9 are more unlikely to, it's more unfavorable to get a birdie streak out of the gate, as you can see, with the 3rd hardest hole being number 12. And then the 4th hardest hole being number 18, 1 and 2 being 5 and 6. So that wraparound, you're not going to find anything on the scorecard for. But if you start on number 1, you get the chance of 7, 8, and 9, which you would either way. But if you went 8, 9, 10, 9 and 10 are on the plus side of being difficult, but they're not super duper. They play just over par. You can see that 9 and 10 a 15% birdie rate. Number 10 has a 12% birdie rate, with 11 having a 28% birdie rate on the shorter drivable par 4. Some guys will be able to drive it, others won't. And it's not a drivable eagle hole, as you can see, with only a 0.2% eagle rate. But if you can get into 9 9, 10, 11. That could be a birdie streak. 8, 9, 10 could be a birdie streak. 9, 10, 11. So you're not going to have that opportunity because then you're just straight into hole number 12 if you start on the back 9. So I'd be trying to target good players in Showdown who make birdies anyway. You're still going to need your guys to play well, but with all things being equal, if you're looking for a way to potentially get an extra birdie streak out of that versus the field, guys starting on hole 1 versus hole 10 appears to have a slightly better chance of doing that right now. Let's just take a look at the eagle rates on these holes. So number 13 and number 5 reachable in 2, a 3.5% eagle rate and a 2.9% eagle rate. And after that, the third par 5, number 7, not a ton of eagles made there. And even on the shorter par 4s, a very low eagle percentage on the 360-yard par 4 11th, but it is a very high birdie percentage hole. And 2 of the par 3s, incredibly easy. It's not something you really see from a lot. 116-yard par 3 is number 4, 30% eagle rate. And number 8 is a 23% birdie rate. There's a 151-yard. After that, if we just look at overall ranking of holes, you'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 hardest holes are the 4 longest par 4s on the course. There's only 4 par 4s over 450 yards. All 4 of those, the 4 most difficult holes on the course. It's par 4s across the board. The par 3s are really easy at El Chameleon. As we said, no shot link data really to go through at all. And when I say not really, there is none. So if you make your bones on your par 4s, I would add 450 plus into the stat modeling if we're going to do that, just because of the most difficult holes. You can even just see as the way that it breaks down. There's 4 of those. It's pretty even across the board. Maybe you can get tricky and go 350 to 400 if you're looking at your custom modeling as well, just to see which players do well on the really short par 4s. But honestly, proximity from 100 to 150 appears to be a pretty good number here, because that's where a lot of those numbers are going to come in if guys lay up on the 400-yard par 4s, in the ones even just a little bit longer with 300-yard drives, and you're looking at holes that are 438, 428. It could be easy to get into range on those as well. So wedges at this course, there's no real distinct advantage between driving distance and the shorter hitters. When you have winners such as Brendan Todd, the champion last year, Matt Kuchar, and even Patton Kazire, Johnny, I can't remember if it was at this course or if it was before. I think it was 2012 that he ended up winning in one of the crossover events. Did he win or did he come in second to Robert Allenby? Can never remember these things. Green regulation percentage, almost 68%. Scrambling, almost 60%, well above tour average. We look at the historic cut line. Last year will really tell the tale of the tape, mainly because we had the new cut rules in place last year with top 65 and ties. It was at even. It was -3 the year before that. Even, -1, -1, -2. So expect it to be below par this year, especially in a stronger field. If we look at the tournament history for the course, if we just take a glance back at last year, you see Brendan Todd. You have Ortiz, who played pretty well with Von Taylor and Adam Long coming in second place. This is just accounting for the players that are in the field this year. So if you see a weird gap it's because those players are not in the field this time around. Harris English was 5th a year ago. I believe he won this tournament before. Don't quote me on that. Let's go take a look here. Like I said, it makes it easier to search when it's OHL. Yeah, he won in 2013, came 5th last year. Disaster in between, but has he won Sony too? Is he one of those other crossover people? No, but he has 3 top 10s at Sony's in the past, so that's a decent way to go look at it. We'll run a corresponding correlation between those here in a minute after we kind of go back through the field of the top names that we're looking for here. If we just look at overall strokes gained total over the past 5 years, Pat Perez has won here and has an additional 2 top 10s the past 2 years. He is second in the course history strokes gained total metric. Someone like Russell Knox had 3 top 10s before his T33. He's actually playing a little bit better coming into action here. Griot is a really interesting one just because he's playing so well. I want to take a look at Reavie as well. Danny Lee is actually withdrawn. That happened just before I started the recording for this, so that will be reflected on the field once the DraftKings pricing comes out. Russell Knox continues to gain on approach. Can't make a putt to save his life, but 2 top 20s before the miscut at the RSM. And remember, where there's only shot link for one of the courses at RSM, if you made the the cut, you would have 3 rounds of data, but where he missed the cut, he only has 1 round of data. Still almost gained a stroke tee to green, gained both off the tee and an approach. Interesting play. I think he's going to be relatively popular this week. Looking at it just off the outset, you can see 33rd, 9th, 3rd, 2nd in his past 4 starts, never missed the cut. That guy's going to be popular depending on what the pricing is. I'm betting it's probably like 8,100. I haven't seen the pricing yet, but that would be my initial take from it. Griot, he actually gained putting at RSM, but just even to watch him on Sunday, you're like, oh, he's in it. Oh, no, he's out of it because he's Emiliano Griot and he flubbed a chip and then he missed a 2-foot putt. That's pure. Just watching him, he was in contention at one point. He had an 8-foot putt for birdie, and then he 3-putted for bogey. Like, that is essentially summing up what Griot does. However, an 18th at the RSM, the ball striking is always going to be good. The last time he lost strokes on approaches when he miscut at Memorial. Before that was at Honda back in March. So the approach is going to be really good. His lack of distance isn't going to be an issue here. And at a birdie maker's course, this is where you kind of want him. He's never missed the cut in 4 starts, 41st, 15th, 9th, and 10th in his 4 starts. Another guy who's going to be relatively popular, but I think it depends on how the pricing actually unfolds in this circumstance. Mainly because if you pay for Justin Thomas and maybe one of the other high-end guys, even Harris English, like starting that way, if you can find the appropriate low-end guys, actually does make some sense to me. But then you're going to miss out on that entire pack. So do you go balanced and take guys with less win equity, a better, higher percent chance to make the cut versus the 6 guys overall where you have the 2 super studs in your lineup that can presumably go win this tournament, but then you're rolling the dice and cut equity at the very bottom. It's an interesting scenario to go through. Shez is actually playing a lot better than I would have thought. The guy cannot putt to save his life, but gained a stroke on approach at RSM in his 1 round, missing the cut. Gained 3.1 at Shriners, but putted himself out of the tournament. Has a really good history at Sony. Let's see how he's done OHL over the years. Never missed the cut, 26, 26, 14th, 4th, and 74th. And at Sony, missed cut 3rd, 18th, 8th, 24th. So yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be betting that loser, Chez Reavie. What's he coming in the odds here? Chez Reavie, 75-1. Take my money now, Chez Reavie. I'm going to be in on that. Of course I am. I can't help myself when it comes down to some of these guys. Maybe I can unearth some other guys, too, who's played really poorly at this tournament. It's funny, Hoffman's missed the cut 5 straight years, but he has the win right before that. Hard to see where his game is at right now. Of guys that Luke List has the T7 and 4 missed cuts surrounding it. Mark Hubba Hubbard, a 58th, a 70th, and a miscut. Not great in that circumstance. You think Connors would be better here because he plays really well at Sony. Some guys just don't have the eye for it. Harmon makes the cut here every single year, but does not finish highly at all. Even Munoz in the midst. This is after his win a year ago, but still doesn't have very decent finishes. Scott Harrington, he's a lock to be in contention for first round leader, and then will flirt with the cut line and after the second round. Good showdown guy, Scott Harrington. I'm curious what I'm going to go search that. What's Scott Harrington past 24 rounds overall? Scott Harrington is 87th in strokes gained total. If we separate that by first round only, curious to see all of a sudden where Scott Harrington pops up on this list. Sorry, this is a vanity project for me and Scott Harrington, but I want to see if it's just me remembering something that isn't real, or if the stats actually do say, oh yeah, he actually does play really well in the first round versus all of his other rounds. If this would finally load, that would be nice. Take a look at the odds. I like Gim. I want to go dig into Byung-Hun An to see where he is up to. Austin Cook had been playing really well before that too. And then Keegan would just kind of be the other ones. Why is this not loading? There we go. Harrington first round only, 45th. So it's much better than his overall, because you have to figure that his first round totals are being factored into his first round totals overall. Harris English, actually the best first round player in the field over the past 24 rounds. I wonder who overall over the past 24 is just the best. Harris English, Justin Thomas, Varner, Answer, Tringali, Henley, Todd, Berger, Finau. Cameron Percy, a better first-round player. Chase Seifert, a better first-round player than just their overall baseline. I don't know if there's any way that you can really look at that and be like, oh, yeah, I'm gleaning a lot from that. But at the same time, it's such a small sample to begin with that, if someone's going to, like Scott Harrington, is going to be 87th in this field overall in total rounds, but inside the top 45 in just first round, again, the first round is factored into that. So he's just a disaster after the first round. What was I going to go look up? Strokes gained total, strokes gained tee to green over the past. Oh, strokes gained tee to green over the past 24 rounds. Keegan is actually number one. Huh. So I said I wanted to look him up. I wanted to look up Byung-Hun An. And then we can take a look at our guy, the Gim Reaper. I feel like he's 11th tee to green over the past 24 rounds. The Gim Reaper, 18th, 14th, 23rd, miscut 14th so far during the swing season. Couldn't get the putter going, although this is the first time he had lost on around the green in a while. He lost off the tee significantly and lost strokes putting. Could be, I don't think in our community, at least, I don't think that Doug Gim is going to be sneaking up on anyone. He's a very popular play. At the same time, it's a way that you can go back and kind of look at this a little bit. Did he play OHL last year? He did not. Did he play Sony? He missed the cut at Sony. But I do believe in the baseline talent for Doug Gim. I'm curious to see where his pricing ends up coming in. Ben An, OHL in the past, played it once, missed the cut in 2017. Sony Open has not played it. The approach has been lights out. The around the green game has been lights out. Of course, he sucks on the green, but his results can be somewhat misleading. As you've seen, he played the Masters, he played the Zozo, he played the CJ Cup in his past 3 starts. That was against elite fields. He missed the cut at Shriners and Sanderson, which, you give him a pass on those. That was a while ago now. That was back at the beginning of October. We're now almost 2 months removed from that. But his results don't necessarily mesh up exactly with the fields he's been. I don't know if I'm going to get on to Byung-Hun An, but it's interesting to see his odds are really that deep. Oh, man, if Keegan could putt, this is the story of one career. RSM gained 3 strokes off the tee in 3 rounds, 3 rounds that are weighted, 4 on approach, and then lost more than that putting. But encouraging to see. He has some decent pop. Every time that he plays against a weaker field, Houston excluded, 4th at Sanderson, 5th at RSM. How has he been here over the years? A 15th, an 8th, and a missed cut. Not bad. Sony, 12th, 29th, 39th. All right. Keeks, make some putts. Let's get on the go here. We know he gives himself ample birdie opportunities, so that'll be curious to see. Overall, strokes gained total over the past 6 events. Henley, Justin Thomas, Connors, Brooks, Harris English, Piercy, Straka. All these guys have not missed a cut over that time frame. Neither is Joaquin Neiman, neither is Patton Kazire. Other than that, let's see, Tringali, Gim, Carlos Ortiz, Brian Gay, just based off the strength of 1 win at Bermuda. I totally forgot that he had won looking into it. Johnny, huh? I'll probably end up on Johnny, huh, when all is said and done. Oh, Roz's boy, Aaron Wise. Kiradesh had the 1 great putting performance. Munoz has just been playing well, though he did miss the cut at RSM at very chalky ownership. Finally get Zalatoris back. He hasn't played since Bermuda in the T16 when he secured his card in special temporary exemption for this season, so he can continue to add on to that. So just kind of interesting to go back and look and see who's been in good form using fantasynational.com. If we just kind of do a very micro version, sometimes I like to take a look at this and just see who's been hot over their past 2 events, so over the past 8 rounds total on the PGA Tour. You can click on the Corn Ferry stuff if you want to, but I don't think it's all that relevant. Although this would be one of the courses that kind of jibes with the Corn Ferry Tour, just because it's a hit and giggle. It's going to be very low scoring. Sometimes when you see a lot of PGA Tour grinders in the mix, you're going to get into a situation where sometimes, they played the U.S. Open or they played the Masters or one of these more difficult events against very top-level competition where the strategy is just a little bit different because the courses are harder. Very rarely, if you get into a birdie fest, sometimes guys who've played exclusively on the Corn Ferry Tour where you can get up to -20, -24, that mentality gets baked into you, and sometimes it's difficult for the Corn Ferry players who jump to the PGA Tour when you start getting a bit more difficult conditions that you just can't fire at every pin. This is a tournament where you can go fire at every single pin. So maybe that mentality, because it could have a little bit where the Corn Ferry Tour and getting graduates, you're not seeing a lot of them in this field, that probably wouldn't have much relevancy moving forward for this year. But as we get back into the regular flow of things, God forbid, that is something to keep in the back of your mind moving forward. Over the past 8 rounds coming into this, Kazire is popping, Tringali is popping. You see Gim up there. Chesson Hadley, all of a sudden, back inside the top 10 in strokes gained total over the past 8 rounds. Roger Sloan playing pretty well. Johnny Ollie Schneiderjans, who does not have the good course history at this course, but playing well over that time period as well. Peter Malnati, my guy, couldn't get it going on the weekend at RSM. This feels like a course where he should be really good, but I guess it really depends on his putter. Chesson Hadley, 23rd at RSM, 16th at Bermuda. RSM was all on the strength of his putter. OHL missed the cut here in 2013. Sony Open for him. Miscut. So probably not going to be looking at old Chesson Hadley. Have we seen Malnati? We're hitting the ball. He's kind of all over the place. OHL, 58th. 2 top 10s ages ago for Malnati. Nothing good recently. Sony is hit or miss. Miscut, 12th. Miscut, 27th. I kind of do like where his iron game is at right now. If he can catch that hot putter, he's actually quite a good player. Lebioda, 31st. Austin Cook, 23rd. Probably should take a look at Answer and Cook just to see how they've done recently. Cook couldn't get it going at RSM at all. Before that, a 24th and a second based on good ball striking. This is just from one round for Austin Cook. So maybe not a terrible option to go back through. Has not played this course well. Was 18th at Sony, though, in 2018. I take a look at Heritage, too. Miscut, 50th. That's the other one that kind of crosses over a little bit. They're all kind of coastal courses, so that would be a one determining factor. Been bad on approach for Answer. He did have the really good Masters, though. I'm not sure whether that was putting because I don't have the strokes gained data for Augusta, but was good, good at Shriners, lost on approach. Good at CJ Cup, lost at approach. Decent at Zozo, lost on approach. That would start to worry me a little bit, but talent-wise, he's kind of a class above. At the same time, you get into a situation where when you're doing this for like the hometown crew being the top Mexican in the field, he and Ortiz really, that sometimes that there is added pressure when it comes down to, I used to see it all the time when the Canadian Open used to be a thing where just you get the extra pressure worked out, maybe because there's no fans at this event. Let's see, Mayakoba, great at the top is what my notes tell me from Mayakoba. I don't know why I'm just so split and I must have built this a few years ago. Birdie opportunities gained, birdies are better gained. And let's just load her up and see what happens here in terms of the modeling for the OHL. I'm guessing, before I take a look at it, I'm going to take a guess at Harris English, Russell Henley, Justin Thomas, Doug Gim, Russell Knox. I'm going to guess that's my top 5 for this event. I wonder how that's going to end up coming through. It's still loading in right now. Can't believe this is the end of the golf season. I'm actually excited to do the off-season content, maybe get back to a regular flow here. Like I said, I have a huge announcement coming that will affect probably starting at the Sony Open for the season. If you are looking for the cheat sheet for DraftKings, I will have that up on dkplaybook.com later in the week. There's also other events. There's the South African Open. Spoiler alert, my guy Sky sent me a DM a little bit earlier on today about the South African Open. And what did he say? I already bet this jabroni, who I'd never heard of before. Let's see. Sky tells me Austin Batista, 350 to 1 at the South African Open. I made that play. I played it with the top 5 each way. Austin Batista in his last 5 starts on like the Muni tours of South Africa. Second win, and posted a course record, 61. He's averaged 67.1 over those rounds. And this is from the Monday Q info on Twitter. He's the hottest mini tour player in the States, and he's getting a random start over in South Africa, 350 to 1. I've made worse on longer odds. So let's go. Austin Bautista. That's the play. There's also the first leg of the Middle Eastern swing on the European tour. The guys over at ftndaily.com, Drew and Sky and Axis, are going to have that covered in full over there. So I highly recommend you go check those guys out. I'm not really going to be touching it all that much from a content perspective, but they definitely are. And listen, money's money, odds are odds. If you can get some wins out of that over there, highly suggest those guys, ftndaily.com. All of my PGA DraftKings pivots column for free at ftndaily.com a little bit later on. All right, past 24 rounds, the stats have loaded. Connors, Keegan, Werner, Finau, Brooks. Wow, not what I was expecting. Thomas, Griot, Zalatoris, Henley, Gim, Hovland, Streelman. Okay, yeah, we're cooking with fire here a little bit. They told me it was really good at the top, so maybe I do go with Keegan's going to have to be a bet. What were Keegan's odds? Keegs, 70 to 1. All right. If you say so, stat model. Well, we'll get the simulator going after the pricing has been released on DraftKings. That's what it's tied to. I don't know what to do with guys like Berger, who we haven't seen in a while. Harris English only 17th. I find that really surprising. Who was I going to look up? I was going to look up Shez. Shez is 28th, 6th in approach, 2nd in opportunities gained. I like to look at opportunities gained just to see, especially in a tournament like this where birdies are going to be at a premium. You have to make as many as possible. You know, Thomas, no big shocker there. Reeve, Stanley, Hoagie, Keegan Bradley, Griot, Cook, Varner, Duffner. My guy, Duffner. Good God, I'm going to get sucked into stupid Duffner again. And Brooks Koepka are the top 10 in opportunities gained. Oh, Wes Bryan. Shout out Wes Bryan, 3rd in approach and 13th in opportunities gained over that time. Very curious to see what the pricing is. I'm wondering how expensive they're going to make Harris English this week. 10-4 maybe. Russell Henley will probably be above 10,000 as well. If that means I have to go a lineup of like, use Justin Thomas at the top. Reeve will probably be pretty cheap. Use him. Use Keegan if he's like 7,600. Shez, Knox, and Doug Gim. Could that be a lineup? I don't know if the pricing works out on all of that. Malnati is top 25 in opportunities gained, as is Gim. Don't know. I'm just going to full fade Woodland until I see that he's healthy. I'm good with being late on him. But at the same time, this should be a course that really works to his advantage. It's just I don't know what's going on with him. Let's go back to just overall strokes gained, and we're going to sort by Sony Open, and then we're going to sort by both of them combined just to see what kind of spits everything out. I just use Wiley in particular because we actually have strokes gained data from that course. And we've seen common winners in the past. It would be smart to go take an alternate look at that. So let's sort it by past 12 rounds instead of past 24 rounds at just Wiley. You can do that over here on the left marker. If you hold down Command, you can highlight other courses at the same time. But let's just take a peek. Past 12 rounds at Wiley. And let's take putting out of it, and let's just go tee to green. And you know what? Let's just go to ball striking and see who's the best. Reeve, Thomas, Streelman, Griot. How has Streelman been recently? Griot, Keegan. Oh, God. I'm going to get sucked into these losers. Leishman, who I did bet, so I'll probably end up using Leishman and roll the dice. I'd rather roll the dice on a Leishman comeback than a Woodland Health thing if I'm going to go between names that are undervalued this week. Berger, Todd, Piercy, Finau, DJ Trahan, okay, Charles Howell III, Neiman Sabatini. Neiman only has the 4 rounds. Homa only has the 6 rounds. Noren only has 4 rounds of data there. I don't even know what year that's from. It's probably last year, if I had to guess. Yeah, 2020. Played all 4 rounds. How has Streelman been? Not great. 3rd at Safeway, and after that, kind of hit or miss. Classic Kevin Streelman stuff. When he putts well, he tends to do okay. When he putts poorly, he sucks. Same thing for a lot of golfers. Howell is up there as well. How has Howell been doing? He was riding a really hot putter for a while. But let's see. Hot putter for a while, but did make the cut at the Masters, made the cut at RSM, did well off the tee, decent on approach over those 3 rounds, at least at the Seaside course. Was not good in terms of short game, but he had some pop performances here. He's someone who can get the putter rolling, but he has just played the Sony Open so well over the course of his career. Who is way behind in ball striking? That's any good. Wes Bryan, Ryan Gibson, who's the add to the field, Kadira, Hubbard, Gim, although that's only in 2 rounds, so you take that with a grain of salt. You know, I'm going to say throw out the bad stats when they do not favor guys that I like, and take them when it's a small sample of guys I do like. You know, when you're talking about your own biases, that's how I have to look at it. Let's throw in El Chameleon, and we'll just look at strokes gained total because that's the only thing that's really going to play too much of a factor when we combine the courses. So, like I said, hit Command, go to El Chameleon, click off of it, and we'll load in both into the system here, as you can see on the left-hand side. Strokes gained total past 15 rounds between the 2 courses. Let's see. Howell, Vaughn Taylor, Bo Hogg, Carlos Ortiz, Damon. Let's spread the sample to past 24 rounds now that we're looking at 2 courses. See if that gives us a little bit of a larger sample. So, strokes gained total. Thomas, Reeve, Howell, Leishman, Knox, top 3. Griot, Woodland, Perez, Hogg, Bryce Garnett. Bryce Garnett on this putting surface. That's like his jam, as I kind of recall. The Caribbean places, let's see how he's done at OHL in the past. 11th, 5th, 25th, 7th, 6th. All right. Course history guy. was 21st at Bermuda not too long ago. Missed the cut at RSM. You get to Bermuda, you get a 21st out of it. Every now and again, Bryce Garnett plays shorter courses a little bit better as well. 17th at Heritage, 11th at Honda, 21st at Bermuda. He'll be in the $6,000 region if you're looking to fill out your roster. 4 straight missed cuts for Pat Perez. Congratulations. And he withdrew from Bermuda despite the fact that he had made the cut, but he had finished the day before. That was really wonky, as I recall. Other guys that pop up, Stumanji, Graham McDowell, always a coastal guy. Ricky Fowler. Oh, wow. Something positive for Ricky Fowler. Good for you, pal. Snedeker withdrew, so don't mind him. Todd Father, Adam Long, Billy Horschel. Let's see. Mad McNeely, Brennan Grace, Brian Gay, Zing Zuzang. Not how you pronounce his name, but far more fun to say it that way. All right. I think that's pretty good for us. That'll do it for the first look for the OHL. As you just hear me, have my train of thought out loud of when I start doing my research. I'll dig in a little bit more, and I'll have the full show coming out on Wednesday on Mayo Media Network YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to that, please do go subscribe right now. Also smash a like and leave your winner in the comment section. Become a member at fantasynational.com, fantasynational.com/Mayo. Get you the discount and subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast. Would ya? Please, it would really help me out. And we got the big announcement, plus all the Christmas time golf shows. Let's try to win a big one here. I've been awful betting-wise throughout the swing season. Hopefully I can get one to give me some momentum heading into the new year. It only takes one to get you on the go. That's how we were coming out of COVID. Then we've gone cold. Basically ever since Morikawa won the PGA Championship. It's just been a disaster for me. Although Wolf and Cam Smith, the 2 other majors, with their top 8, really did help me out big time in sustaining my bankroll. But I am down. Basically, since the PGA Championship, and we'll see how we do at the end of the year. Maybe if Bautista hits at 350 to 1, I can get to the positives for the swing season. It would take a 350 to 1 to do that for me at this point. But I'll be back with the full show later on the week. Be well. Hope you enjoyed. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!